Hey, how you guys all doing? This is Jonathan Miller once again with Hometown Historian channel. This is vlog number 6. This is a lot quicker than I originally intended. I actually can blame a viewer for this one because the viewer, sorry about the finger there, and again, but viewer gave a really great idea, a fantastic idea. I've been talking about now for a while. I've been talking about some of these. I want to try to do YouTube Shorts, for instance, and the first effort was it's definitely hard to try to fit something in under 60 seconds. I went and did the Johann Palm Memorial. He was the founder of Palmyra, Pennsylvania. I figured something simple, something that I could do. Actually, I struggled trying to find it at first because here they apparently moved the thing. I had no idea that they had moved it. It was originally on South Railroad Street in Palmyra at Oak Street, and there was also another street that sort of went on an angle called Chestnut Street. It was like a little triangle, and I kept on going by where it had been because it's a really noticeable thing because it's right along the main road. And I was like, am I going crazy? Am I on drugs or something like that? And I can't find this place. And I kept on going back and forth up, excuse me, on Railroad Street. And of course, I got to have a lantern bug land on me. I hate those things. But anyways, so I stopped by there on Sunday morning to go do this video. Nothing there to be found. So I looked over at the new administrative offices and I thought, I wonder if it's over there. Sure enough, that's where they moved it. Basically across the street, a little bit down, a little bit further south down the street, but it's right there. They had actually placed that monument, I think 1932 is on the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Because Johann Palm had a little bit something to do with George Washington, but he is one of those founder of Palmyra, one of the early citizens of the area, first citizen of Palmyra. So he's an important figure in our past. He's a very important doctor, especially in the Revolutionary War, Battle of Brandywine. But trying to fit that into 60 seconds was next to impossible. I did do it, but then YouTube, as sometimes it has a problem with, it has bad times to download, and apparently I hit a bad time to download, and basically the video just disappeared. So I have no idea what happened to it. So I'm going to go there maybe even this evening, quick drive down there. But I'm going to actually film it and download it because it may wind up being one of these things where I just have to download the 1 minute video and then see if I can actually go off of there with YouTube Shorts. I'd like to do YouTube Shorts. I think it's more for like funny animal stuff and that type of thing is what's popular. For my channel, probably isn't going to work as well, but we're going to try it. We're going to see what happens. If it's another avenue, free avenue to advertise the channel in essence, I'm going to try to take advantage of that. But I also was doing a historical marker series, which I plan on doing them as like 2 to 3 minute videos because I'd like to have for that series that not only do you have the historical marker that I read off of, but also if something of significance to that historical marker is available, like for instance the Sadison's one was a trial run. I went to Peter Sadison's grave then as well and filmed that. It wound up being like a minute and 40 seconds. I got confused on the whole YouTube Shorts thing because it's basically YouTube's version of TikTok to a degree, and those are usually 1 to 3 minutes, so that's where I got confused in the time. My nephew clarified that with me along with several viewers. So we'll see how that works out. But anyways, one of the viewers on Instagram actually messaged me, Well Grounded Life, and what their name is in person I really don't know, but they gave me the great and fantastic idea. I do want to have this channel be somewhat more inclusive, where I'm able to involve viewers in different things, from ideas for filming places, maybe even getting together at some point and filming in certain cases. It's something I do have to be careful with. I want to get to know people a little bit better before I'm comfortable with doing that, because you are, in essence, unfortunately, in today's world, you're putting yourself at risk to a degree. I don't have anybody that I've got to be worried about at home with that type of stuff, but you do have some nutty people. I just had one of the videos, I had somebody that sort of went a little berserk about it. It was actually that Sadison's Lutheran Church video. I have no idea what was going on there. They weren't mean or nasty about it, but it was just bizarre. But you get that. That's part of when you do this and you put yourself out there, you're going to deal with stuff like that. So it was nothing major. It was just sort of bizarre and weird, and I was sort of like, okay, I don't know how to respond to this. But anywho, Well Grounded Life said about potentially with the historical marker series, there's so many of them around Pennsylvania, for instance, and I would even put this on to, for instance, if you're from somewhere else, which a lot of viewers are, if there's something you'd say, hey, this is something, can you talk about? If you have a email now, it's thehometownhistorian at gmail.com, and I'm going to put all like the Instagram, the Facebook page, and the email on the details from here on out. That way you can just click a link. But if you want to take pictures of a historical marker and then even take pictures of the other stuff, I'm going to eventually get to the stage once I have with this Animotica app where I'm going to be able to talk about these sites over top of pictures. I do have to be somewhat careful with pictures. If it's pictures that people have personally taken, and then I give the person, whoever the individual, the viewer is that sent me the information and the pictures, you'll be talked about like as in this, your first name, this is the person that sent it, thank you, yada yada yada, and then give the information on the video. I think it's a cool way. Like if people want to do that, it's a way to be part of the channel as well, besides just being a viewer. And I want to give people that opportunity because I think it's cool. Like I said, I want to have this be inclusive as well, that it can feel like a family and have everybody be able to be a part of that a little bit more, because it is something that it does mean a lot to all of us, because I know how much it means to me, the feedback that I get. And I also want to do stuff like I had mentioned Jay and Rebecca, who had talked about the grave, Find a Grave app. But Rebecca had also talked to me about having her mother or grandmother has been a lifelong resident, excuse me, of Bethel Township, especially Fryestown. And her mother's not necessarily fond of the whole videoing thing, but like we could figure out a way that she's comfortable with it, but to get the oral story of her growing up and what she wants to talk about the area, because it's like we lose so much of that. I wish I could have been able to video or record my dad and his stories, because the way they tell them from their personal experience, it just is a different experience of hearing that. So that's something I want to do at some point as well, to be able to check those things out. And different viewers are ready to talk. I have a number of friends that we're going to probably do some videos besides Ralph or Cliff, that I do stuff with. But I have another friend, Sam, that wants to go along, and another friend, Dale, also that has an interest in doing some small hikes with me. So I am going to do some of those things and just try to figure out what's the best way to do it. But so this new idea with the videos, I do want to have, you can send that stuff to me. It might not happen right away, but I'm hoping that it'll happen within a 2 months period or so like that, and I'll start being able to put those videos together. And once again, a lot of that's going to be like 2 to 3 minutes for the historical marker series, and then we'll try to figure out from there like other stuff that people have that's significant historically that they want to talk about, and we'll film that as well. And it'll give different avenues for videos and types of videos for the channel. I had mentioned as well, and Jay, one viewer who's also the Find a Grave app, who's done a lot of research on different things and really had some great information on those different things. He had mentioned that one of the things that he found that was cool about the trip to my grandpa's house was that I talked about doing, like I was at Pine Grove Theater. I do want to do a series eventually on old movie theaters. I want to start with the Allen Theater right there in Annville, right near me, and then the Pine Grove Theater. There's a ton of old theaters around that still exist. A lot of them are gone, but even the ones that are gone, I want to do videos on. I want to get pictures and stuff like that from like Lebanon County Historical Society, because Lebanon had some really awesome movie theaters, none of which are still around. I think the one building's still around, and even the marquee is still there. It's now a church of some sort, but none of those theaters are around anymore. And like even some of the ones that I'll vaguely mention with ones that were around during my time being a teen. I think there was one called the Howard, and I forget there was a card. They called it the Cardboard Box Theater in Paul Beyer. It wasn't really ornate or anything like that, but it's something that people have really good memories. It's part of the community, part of the hometown, that means a lot. Bowling alleys would be another one. Lost Speedways would be another one that I'd want to go on videos like that. But tomorrow we have a video coming out. It'll be over the mountain and back again, and yes, Stuart, there will be music. It is one of those things with this U-Cut app that I use right now on the phone videos. You can add like a snippet of a minute and 20 seconds, and then you got to add the next one. And one thing you got to watch on is you got to make sure you take back the volume on that music to like 4%, because I think it has it like 75%. Because I had done a video on Greenpoint, a driving video, and I forgot to do that, and it's sort of like the first minute and 20 is like fantastic, and then the next is like like heavy metal screaming, which I didn't have heavy metal, but it's like it's just way too loud and it just overwhelms everything else, and it's not an enjoyable experience. But so I just gotta edit that video tonight, and then I think the next one is the Revolutionary War Cemetery in Pine Grove, which is across from St. Peter's Lutheran Church. It's like early settlers. In fact, the oldest settler, the first settler of Pine Grove area, he's buried there, and it actually says it on the tombstone. It's a pretty cool cemetery. Really old stones. A lot of them you can't read, unfortunately, but a lot of Revolutionary War vet. I think there's some kind of confusion there where they had Grand Army of the Republic badges, like those bronze badges, instead of Revolutionary War, because like the dates that the people were born to where they died don't match up at all with the Civil War. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe I'm reading things wrong too, but just the date of the stones around them, it really wasn't. Maybe some of the front stones could have been Civil War, but the back stuff was all Revolutionary War and earlier. So that I didn't really understand, but it'd be a cool video. And then the third driving video will come down on Thursday, and that's the first Country Roads Take Me Home. That will also have music added to it to just give it that extra peaceful feel. And then on Friday, I will have Pilgeroo, which is it's German, stands for Pilgrim's Rest. It's an old spring that's right along the top of Hawken Path. It's freaking bugs. I don't know, these lanternflies come out of nowhere like ninjas. But anyways, so that's what the plan is here coming up. A lot of cool stuff coming up. I'm excited. Right now, I still gotta be somewhat careful on my feet again, because I sort of damaged myself again on Saturday. Unfortunately, with all the nerve damage I have, I can't always tell when I'm doing stuff. Thought the day went well at work, and then got home. There's a huge chunk of skin that came off of the bottom of my right foot. My left foot's the one that has the amputation. So the right foot, I think, is starting, because my balance the way it is right now, a lot more of the weight's falling on the right foot, which is causing a lot of the back issues and that type of stuff. And so I got to wrap both my feet now. So I just got to be a little careful over the next week and a half or so how much I'm going out and doing, because I'm sort of having trouble moving right now. So I got to sort of figure things out from there of what I'm going to do here in the future. And hopefully I'll continue to have videos every single day, but there might be a pause there of a couple days, which I know you all understand that, but it's just something I just want to make people aware of, because this has been an interesting last like 2 or 3 weeks. It's sort of like I'm 41 and my body's falling apart, and I feel like it's like 65, 70. It'll get better. It's just a matter of sort of figuring out certain things, getting these specialized shoes. Hopefully that'll help. Getting back to the chiropractor, getting his opinion, because my foot is its setup is so much different because they're not being a bone structure, and it's just permanently like swollen now on the bottom. So I got to figure something out with there and get things checked out to just figure out if there's something else that I can do to just make this a little easier, because right now my mobility is sort of bad. I can do certain things, but I also got to not push myself. So, which you guys have all been encouraging in that regard. And don't push yourself so you can continue to put out videos, later on. So, it's looking toward the future and just trying to be as careful as I can. So there might be a couple days there. But I do have the driving videos option and a bunch of those smaller, like unique features locally and stuff like that I can go drive to. And maybe I only have to walk 100 yards, and that's something I can handle without hurting myself. So there'll be a bunch of different things like that, intriguing different local stories, legends, that type of stuff. So there is a lot available out there for me. I just don't know what my next round of videos is going to be, and I do want to try to get the new camera out on the next round of videos. So there are going to be certain things I'm going to continue to do with the phone, just because it's easier. This is definitely not one of them, because it's not easy. I have to switch arm to arm. I've got weak man arms now. But holding the phone up and trying to keep it so you're not looking up my nose, and as pleasurable as I am to stare at for 15 minutes, I want to try to do so that where I add pictures and then talk over that so you don't have to look at me. I don't like looking at me for 15 minutes. Just, it is what it is. I'm my harshest critic, but I don't have a troll bridge yet that I can collect tolls on, but that's probably my future at some point. But anyways, I want to have another video coming up here shortly where I'm going to talk about some of the different channels that I really respect and enjoy. I know most of you are probably from Wandering Woodsman channel, but there probably are a number of viewers that may not be familiar with Cliff and with the Wandering Woodsman channel. So I want to talk about him. JP Videos as well is another person that there's been some influence. I want to also like some photographers locally. One of my friends, Kurt Lear, does some beautiful photography on Instagram, and I'd like to give those I guess URLs or the websites for them so you can check them out. Some other cool stuff to follow. There's quite a few different pages and friends that have YouTube channels that do really, really well, and people that I respect. So that's something I want to throw out there as well, because I think it's good for the community of YouTube content creators and Instagram content creators to support one another. I know a lot of people view as competition, but I don't view this as one of them. If we're supportive of one another, we can all succeed, because there's a ton of content for everybody to enjoy, and that's sort of how I view things in life. You know, I've lived long enough and gone through enough stuff over the last like 20 years that I really don't feel like competing with anybody. I'm just thankful for the friends that I have, and that I'm able to do this type of stuff, and I'm thankful for all of you, because I've said it over and over again, and I'll continue to repeat it. I really do appreciate the support that you guys give me and give the channel. None of this is possible without you guys, and you know, I give this special shout outs on name viewers that really I feel have been really, really kind and have given some great info and are really, really helpful, and I'll continue to do that. So we got a lot of things coming up that are going to be great, continue to be a lot of fun. Going to be stuff that we're going to be experimenting with and just seeing how those things work, and we'll see where the channel goes, and wait until we get around our next adventure and whatnot, and we will see you about town. Thanks, everybody.